A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
Palmolive Soap, your beauty hope, and Luster Cream Shampoo for soft, glamorous, caressable hair bring you Our Miss Brooks, starring Eve Arden.
Our Miss Brooks teaches English at Madison High School, and what with the overcrowded classrooms and a rather rigorous schedule, has had a pretty busy time during the past semester.
But not busy enough, evidently, to suit Mr. Osgood Conklin, Madison's beloved warden, a principal. Just recently, Mr. Conklin organized a school banking system. And who do you think was selected for the honor of handling this noble project at no increase in salary? Well, it wasn't Barney Baruch. I've had to take care of all the records single-handed. Oh, I'm not complaining. I think it's admirable for people to be saving and frugal, especially if you've got something to save. But I didn't count on the complications that set in last week. It seems that after school Thursday, I had $25 of the students' money in an envelope, which I placed on the dresser in my room at Mrs. Davis's. I intended to deposit it Friday morning and had asked Mrs. Davis to wake me at the usual time. I was sleeping very heavily when she knocked on my door.
Connie? Oh, Connie. Connie, are you in there?
No, I'll be back in 15 minutes.
Come on now, Connie. You've got to get up.
Oh, why?
To go to school.
I graduated from school a long time ago. Well, not such a long time ago.
Before you do anything else, dear, I want you to see the surprise I've got for you here in this box.
In this box?
Go on, open it, Connie.
Oh, I don't understand, Mrs. Davis. It isn't my birthday or anything. Why, it's a dress. Oh, you shouldn't have done it, Mrs. Davis.
Oh, sure I should have.
No, you shouldn't.
Yes, I should. I bought it with practically found money.
Found money?
Yes, I found it on your dresser yesterday. I knew that you'd left it for me to cover the back rent you owe. But frankly, Connie, I didn't expect it so soon and so...
Mrs. Davis.
Yes, Connie.
You shouldn't have done it.
But why not? Don't you like the dress, Connie?
Sure I like the dress. I love the dress. But will the district attorney care for it?
What district attorney?
Well, don't you see, Mrs. Davis, that wasn't my money. I was going to deposit that for the students. And today also happens to be the day Mr. Conklin inspects my bank records.
That is a coincidence, isn't it?
Yeah, the happiest coincidence since Frankenstein met the Wolfman. Look, I know you meant well, and I hate to hurt your feelings, but really...
Oh, you won't hurt my feelings, Connie. I'm a lot like my sister Angela that way. She just refuses to harbor bad thoughts.
That's very nice, Mrs. Davis, but from what you've told me about Angela, sometimes she doesn't harbor any thoughts at all.
Yes, she is terribly absent-minded, poor dear. But sometimes that's for the best.
What's for the best?
What's for the best for who?
If you'll punch my transfer, I'd like to get off here. You see, Mrs. Davis, I've got a big problem today. That money that paid for that dress didn't belong to me.
It didn't?
I've already told you, Mrs. Davis, it was part of the students' savings.
Oh, Connie, then you shouldn't have done it.
But I didn't do it. You did it.
Ignorance of the law is no excuse.
Oh, this is terrible. Let's see that box again. Oh, you got the dress at Sherry's department store. Maybe they'll take it back and refund the money.
You see, Connie, I thought you left the money for the back rent you owe. And so
I know you did, Mrs. Davis, and I appreciate the thought more than I can tell you. But if you'll excuse me, I've got to get ready now. Walter Denton's picking me up in a few minutes.
Oh, did you have another accident with your car, Connie?
Just a slight collision with a new Hudson, Mrs. Davis.
What happened?
Well, you know the ad they have? Hudson, the car you stepped down into?
Yes.
Well, this one I drove down into. Do you know how to get to Sherry's department store, Walter? I've got to stop there for a minute.
Oh, sure, Miss Brooks. I'll get you there in no time. By the way, how do you like the car today?
The car? Oh, it looks fine, Walter.
I polished all 4 fenders the other day.
Well, I'm sure that'll improve the appearance of... What fenders? You haven't got any fenders on the car at all.
Oh, of course not. They're home in my garage. I only put them on weekends.
Weekends?
Well, sure. Even people don't dress up every day in the week.
I see. No sense in hitting a sloppy pedestrian with a natty car.
Exactly. You know, human beings are a lot like cars if they only stop to think about it. Take yourself, for instance. The way you look this morning.
I know. Stanley Steamer.
Yeah, I'm only trying to be helpful, Miss Brooks. You look a little worried about something. Is there anything I can do?
Nothing I can think of offhand, Walter. Just keep it under your hat.
You keep what under my hat?
The information you're going to worm out of me by the time we get to Sherry's.
Oh. Well, what is the information?
It's about the school banking system.
Oh, that. I know that's a big pain in the neck to you, but that's nothing to get depressed about. Gosh, did you see the papers this morning?
No, I didn't get a chance.
Well, you ought to read the story in the bulletin. Oh, that'd cheer you up. It's all about a woman embezzler who was caught stealing $19,000 from the Federal Trust Company. They just gave her 10 years in the clink.
I feel better already.
Well, she didn't even get a chance to spend any of the dough she embezzled. I guess honesty's the best policy after all.
Wish I'd taken out a policy like that.
And right in the same paper is another story that'd make you glad just to be working at school, Miss Brooks. It's about conditions in the state reformatory for women.
No good, huh?
Deplorable. Oh, they make the poor inmates mop the floors all day long. And if they haven't got any mops, which they usually don't have because they're so short of everything, why, then the women have to mop the floors with their hands.
How awful. Oh, here's the store, Walter. Drive up in the back, will you? That's the quickest way to get to the basement.
Basement?
Certainly. That's where they keep the mops, isn't it? Let's see now. Adjustment office. This must be it. I beg your pardon.
Come in. You're my very first adjustment today. Sit down, won't you, Miss...
Brooks, Constance Brooks.
How do you do, Miss Brooks? I'm Mr. Pearson. Would you like a cigarette?
No, thanks. I'm in kind of
a cup of coffee?
No, I've got to get to school pretty quickly.
Good for you. There's nothing I like better than a nice, punctual pupil.
This interview may not be as unpleasant as I anticipated. I'm not a pupil, Mr. Pearson. I'm a teacher at Madison High. But the reason I dropped in here is to return a dress someone bought for me.
Well, you know the motto of Sherry's, don't you? If you're not satisfied, we cheerfully refund your money.
That's what I've heard.
And that's what we do. Now then, about this dress. You don't like it?
Yes, I do. I like it very much.
But it doesn't fit quite properly.
Well, I can't be certain about that because, frankly, I didn't
Is
even...
the color. Oh, you don't like the color.
I think the color is peachy.
I see. And so it clashes with your complexion.
You don't understand. I just can't keep the dress. I've got to get the money back.
Well, that's what we're here for. In Sherry's, your money is cheerfully refunded.
She'd stop being cheerful and start refunding.
Now then, first of all, we must have a valid basis for adjustment. Tell me, how did you find out that the material in this garment is inferior?
Inferior? I didn't find out that...
The sales lady told you, didn't she? Miss Morgan.
Miss Morgan?
So, you know her. Well, there's no sense trying to shield her, Miss Brooks. I knew there was a leak somewhere. We'll have a loyalty check in the morning.
Look, somebody bought me this dress with money that, well, it shouldn't have been spent.
Why not, Miss Brooks? Don't answer that. I know. It was counterfeit money. Young woman, I'm surprised at you. Surprised and shocked.
Now, just a minute, Mr. Pearson. There was nothing wrong with the money Mrs. Davis paid for this dress.
So, Mrs. Davis paid for the dress. Miss Brooks, what are you doing with Mrs. Davis's dress under your arm? I know. You couldn't afford the dress yourself, but you needed money. So when you saw it lying there on Mrs. Davis's bed, you couldn't resist the temptation. You picked it up and brought it here for a refund. Oh, you poor misguided creature.
This guy really runs the gamut. Listen, Mr. Pearson, Mrs. Davis is my landlady. She bought me a dress for a present in this store yesterday.
Well, why didn't you say so, Miss Brooks? You see, yesterday we had our final clearance sale of ladies' dresses, and of course, in a closeout of that sort, there can never be any refund.
What?
But remember, anything else you buy can be returned within 60 days, and Sherry's will cheerfully refund your money.
Well, that's just dandy. And the next time you have a sale, be sure and get in touch with me.
Yeah, I'll be glad to. Where can we reach you?
Just drop into any post office. You'll find my number under my picture.
Our Miss Brooks, starring Eve Arden, will continue in just a moment. But first, here is Vern Smith.
Ladies, what's your complexion problem?
My skin's so dingy.
Mine's oily.
My skin's dull, coarse-looking.
Doctors have proved that many complexion problems respond wonderfully to proper cleansing with Palmolive soap, regardless of age, skin type, or previous beauty care. Oily skin looks less oily. Dull, drab skin fresher and brighter. Coarse-looking skin appears finer. Even tiny blemishes, incipient blackheads disappear or improve. To win such complexion improvements, simply use Palmolive soap. Nothing but Palmolive, the way doctors advise.
Wash your face with Palmolive soap 3 times a day. Massage with Palmolive's wonderful beauty lather for 60 seconds each time to get its full beautifying effect. Then rinse.
Look for improvements in your complexion within 14 days. For remember, 36 doctors, leading skin specialists, advise this way for 1,285 women with all types of skin. Young, old, dry, oily, normal. And proved it could bring lovelier complexions to 2 out of 3. So forget all other beauty care. Use Palmolive soap the way these doctors advise for a fresher, brighter complexion.
For loveliness all over, use big, thrifty bath size Palmolive in your tub or shower.
Well, Sherry's department store lived up to its reputation by refunding the dress and cheerfully keeping my money. In a way, it's a good thing I had the extra dress with me, because when we got to school, I stepped out of Walter's car and right through the hem of the dress I had on. Well, knowing I had to face Mr. Conklin, I felt pretty panicky. It's bad enough to have your spirits dragging without having your hem down there, too. But I finally hit on a pretty good scheme. Between classes, I dropped into the domestic science room to have my old dress patched up and to try and sell the new one. Excuse me, Miss Atterbury, but I wonder if you could help me out.
Oh, it's Miss Brooks. Well, come in, dear. What can I do for you?
Well, I tore the hem of this dress I've got on, and I'd like to get it fixed up.
I'll do whatever I can. Some of these sewing machines are in pretty bad shape. There's one old singer here that hasn't worked for weeks.
That's too bad. Maybe you could teach him to dance. Or sew the seam by hand.
Let's see that hem now. Pretty bad rip. Take quite a while to fix it.
Well, then maybe I'd better slip on this other dress till you're done. I'll just step behind this screen here and take this one off. Oh, there. You got it?
Yes, I'll start stitching it up right away.
Good. I'll certainly appreciate it, Miss Atterbury. Well, I've got this one on. How do you like it?
Why, it's lovely, Miss Brooks. I wish I had one like it.
You have, Miss Atterbury. I've decided this dress is not my type, so you're welcome to it for $25.
Only $25? That's a steal, Miss Brooks.
Let's use another word, shall we? Now, if you'll excuse me, Miss Atterbury, I've got to get over to Mr. Conklin's office.
All right, Miss Brooks, and I'll have your other dress all fixed when you come back. Then we'll try the new one on me. Of course, I weigh 186, but I hope I can get into it.
Just have the $25 ready. You'll get into it. Oh, one thing, Miss Atterbury.
Yes?
While I'm gone, try and lose a few pounds.
Now, see here, Harriet. Just because you're my daughter doesn't give you the privilege of taking time off from your study period. As principal of this school, I must...
Daddy, it'll only take a minute. I just want your permission to withdraw $3 from my school savings account. I've just got to have a new sweater.
Harriet, it distresses me to hear you talk this way. Why, do you realize that it's invariably a craving for unnecessary finery that is the basis for most of the crimes committed by women?
But, Daddy...
Just this morning, there was a story in the paper about a woman being held as an embezzler. And do you know what her alibi was? She needed clothes. I tell you, it's a disgrace what this civilization is coming to. Show me a well-dressed girl who has only a moderate income, and I'll show you an embezzler.
Good morning, Mr. Conklin.
Oh, good morning, Miss Brooks. I see we have on a new dress.
Oh, is yours new, too? This is sort of new. It's, well, yes. Hello, Harriet.
Hi, Miss Brooks.
Run along, Harriet. I have some important matters to discuss with Miss Brooks.
All right, Daddy. We'll take my matter up later on, huh?
Dismissed, girl.
Yes, sir.
Now then, Miss Brooks, have you brought all the student banking records with you?
Well, not exactly all of them, Mr. Conklin.
Then how many?
None of them. You see, I wanted to double-check some of the items before you and I did the final recap, and,
What are you trying to tell me, Miss Brooks?
Oh, I'm not trying to tell you anything, Mr. Conklin. The less, the better. You see, there's one more deposit I've got to make today before the records tally.
Very well, Miss Brooks. I'll wait until lunch period.
We'll have a long lunch period, Mr. Conklin. It may take me quite a while.
To do what, Miss Brooks?
To start a pyramid club. See you later, Mr. Oh, you did a wonderful job on my old dress, Miss Atterbury. Now, suppose you try on this new one.
All right, Miss Brooks. But I'm so much heavier than you, I hope I can get it on.
Oh, you'll get it on easily. I have to smear you with butter. Now, off with the old, and on with the new. Lift your arms. That's a good girl. Now, down over your shoulders. Fine. Past your waist. Good. Now, past your... There. Oh, it fits you like a glove, Miss Atterbury.
Feels like I'm standing in the pinky.
Well, close the zipper along the side.
The zipper? All right. Oh, it won't move.
Oh, nonsense. Take a deep breath. Now hold it. Oh, there we are.
When can I breathe out?
Oh, don't be a child. You look lovely in it, Miss Atterbury.
Thanks, Miss Brooks. But I can't hold my breath any longer. What happened?
Nothing much. The zipper just returned to at ease. You know, that's what I like about this dress, Miss Atterbury. It brings out the real you. God love you. I guess we will have to alter it a little, but if you'll just give me that $25 now, I'd like to go and make...
Just a minute, Miss Brooks. I don't know if I want to buy this dress right now. Here, let me take another deep breath.
The latest thing, plunging neckline. You know, the fashion experts say that necklines are going further south every year.
I know.
Of course, this one's on its way to Mexico City. I'm sure the dress can be made to fit
And
you.
I'm sure it can't, Miss Brooks. We just weren't made for each other. Help me get it off, will you?
All right, Miss Atterbury, but you're overlooking a great buy. After all, breathing isn't everything.
There you are.
I've got an idea. Why don't you dye the dress?
Dye it? What color?
Flesh color. Then you wouldn't have to worry about the zipper. No, I guess not. Oh, there's the lunch period. I've got to hurry over to Mr. Boynton's laboratory.
Oh, did Mr. Boynton invite you to lunch, Miss Brooks?
That's why I've got to hurry. He's just going to. Oh, hello, Mr. Boynton. I'm glad I caught you before you went to lunch.
Hello, Miss Brooks. I'm not going to the cafeteria today. I brought a couple of sandwiches to eat right here. Would you like one of them?
Oh, I don't know, Mr. Boynton. I don't like to take
Oh,
your...
go ahead, Miss Brooks. They're very good.
Well, thanks.
And they're only 30 cents apiece.
Here's 15. I'll just eat the bottom half. You know, I really should be in Mr. Conklin's office right now with the school banking records, but frankly, I'm a little shy.
Well, that's one of the reasons I like you, Miss Brooks.
I don't mean bashful shy. I mean come to the station house shy.
I don't understand, Miss Brooks. Is there something wrong?
Nothing serious, Mr. Boynton. Do you think you could ever love an embezzler?
I never have. What's this all about, Miss Brooks?
Oh, well, let's forget it. Let's live for today. Eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we die. Here's another 15 cents. Give me the top of that sandwich.
Are you sure everything's all right, Miss Brooks?
Oh, let's not talk about it, Mr. Boynton. Tell me, why are you eating in the lab? Cutting down on expenses?
Well, sort of. I've been a little short all month.
You too?
Well, I'll be solvent again this afternoon. Mr. Conklin's buying a sport jacket of mine. It's one that was sent to me for Christmas, and he just insists on my selling it to him. Says he wants to wear it to the faculty masquerade ball next month.
Masquerade ball? What kind of a jacket is it?
Well, it's green suede. Mr. Conklin's going as Robin Hood.
Oh, he's a natural. What's he giving you for it?
About $25.
Gee, I'm glad I dropped in today. It's good to see you, Mr. Boynton.
Well, thanks, Miss Brooks.
What are you going to wear to the masquerade, Mr. Boynton?
Well, I don't know. I haven't made up my mind yet.
You only think you haven't made up your mind yet. Mr. Boynton, I happen to have in this box the ideal costume for you.
Oh, but Miss Brooks,
Let me unwrap it for you. Now, tell the truth, Mr. Boynton. Who always wins the grand prize at fancy dress affairs? Men who dress as women.
Men who dress as women.
You're so right, Mr. Boynton. Now, take your jacket off.
But I don't
Now,
want
that's a good boy. Just slip this dress on for size.
Oh, but Miss Brooks, I'll never be able to get into
If
it.
Miss Atterbury could get into it, you can get into it. Now, come on, right over your head. Just straighten it out. There.
Oh, I feel ridiculous, Miss Brooks.
Why, it looks lovely on you, Mr. Boynton. And I'm going to let you have it very reasonably.
But it's so tight.
Well, naturally it's tight now, but that's easily corrected. It'll fit you perfectly when you've got the proper foundation garment on.
Foundation garment?
Oh, excuse me, Walter and I was just... Oh, hi, Miss Brooks.
Hello, Harriet, Walter.
We were... Who's your friend? What a bill!
Walter, please. It's Mr. Boynton.
Mr. Boynton?
I'm just trying on a masquerade costume.
Oh, I see. Well, the reason we were looking for you, Miss Brooks, was to tell you that Daddy wants to go over those school savings records right away.
I know he does, Harriet, but I haven't been able to make a certain deposit yet. However, as soon as I sell this dress to Mr. Boynton...
Oh, I'm afraid I can't buy this, Miss Brooks. It's just not my type of costume.
Oh, but Mr. Boynton is...
Wait a minute, Miss Brooks. If Mr. Boynton doesn't want the dress, maybe my mother will buy it. I know she's been saving up for one.
Really, Harriet? Do you think she'd like it?
Why, I think so. Would you mind modeling it for me, Mr. Boynton?
Modeling it?
You know, walk up and down with your hand on your hip.
I had to do that once when I first joined a fraternity.
No, but this is absurd.
Please, Mr. Boynton, just a few steps.
Well...
A pretty girl is like a melody that haunts me.
There you are, Miss Brooks.
Oh, hello, Mr. Conklin.
Hi,
Mr. Conklin.
hello, Mr. Conklin.
Hello, Miss Boynton. Now then, Miss Brooks, I have been expecting... Mr. Boynton!
I was just trying it on for size, Mr. Conklin, but...
I know this is a biology laboratory, but what kind of an experiment is this?
The masquerade, Mr. Conklin.
I don't want to hear any more about it. I presume you still haven't prepared the school savings record yet?
No, I haven't, Mr.
Well,
Conklin.
I'll be tied up for the rest of the day, but bring them to my home immediately after school. And they'd better balance.
Let's see now, where were we? Oh, yes. She will leave you and then come back again.
Now, if you'll just take this chair by the desk, Miss Brooks, we'll check these columns of figures.
Oh, before you do, Mr. Conklin, there's something I'd like to explain. You see, when you add them all
I'm
up, they
sure
don't...
I'm mentally equipped to add a column of figures, Miss Brooks. 6 and 8 of 14, 9, 23,
Yeah,
7
good.
please, Martha. Can't you see I'm trying to do some work here?
Well, I just want to talk to Miss Brooks for a minute.
Well, go ahead, but be quiet about
Yes,
it.
dear.
6 and 8 of 14.
Come over here, Miss Brooks.
I see you're wearing the dress, Mrs. Conklin. How do you like it?
Oh, I like it fine. How much did you say it was worth?
$25.
Oh, good. You'll never guess where I keep my money, Miss Brooks.
Not in the school savings bank, I hope.
No, it's in the sugar bowl. I'll go and get it for you, Miss Brooks.
Miss Brooks, come here this instant.
Yes, sir. Hurry, Mrs. Conklin.
Now sit down, Miss Brooks. I've added these figures very carefully. 3 times. And I still get the same total.
I know. There's $25 missing.
You knew?
That's what I was trying to explain, Mr. Conklin. You see, that was the money I didn't deposit.
But why not?
Well, it was used for something else.
Something else? But that was a sacred trust, Miss Brooks. How could you do such a thing? Why, that's an awful...
Pardon me, Osgood. But I've got to talk to you. There's $25 missing from the sugar bowl.
Right. From the sugar bowl?
Only you and I knew that money was there, Osgood.
Well, you see, dear, my check isn't due for 2 weeks, and I
want that money, Osgood. I want it now.
But
she wants the dough, Osgood, and she wants it now. See?
What?
Well, I mean, not just anyone can play in the sugar bowl. You've got to be invited by the Southern Conference. Of course, this year the Rosebud.
I'll get it. Oh, come in, Mr. Boynton.
Oh, hello, Mrs. Conklin. Oh, good afternoon, Miss Brooks.
Hello, Mr. Boynton.
Well, here's that jacket, Mr. Conklin. I must say it's a good buy for only $25.
Jacket?
I meant to call you about that, Boynton. I've decided against buying anything for myself. I want to surprise Mrs. Conklin with a little gift. A new dress.
Surprise!
How much is this dress, my dear?
$25.
I just happen to have that amount on me. Here you are, my dear.
Thanks. Here you are, my dear.
Thanks. Here you are, my dear.
Thanks. The books are now balanced.
Oh, just a minute, Mr. Conklin. Let me have 50 cents of that money. Here you are, Mrs. Conklin.
But, Miss Brooks, what's the 50 cents for?
Get yourself a mousetrap for the sugar bowl.
As our Miss Brooks returns in just a moment. But first...
Dream girl, beautiful luster cream girl.
Tonight, show him how much lovelier your hair can look after a Luster Cream shampoo. Only Luster Cream brings you Kay Daumit's magic formula blend of secret ingredients plus gentle lanolin. Gives loveliness lather even in hardest water. Glamorizes your hair as you wash it. Luster Cream. Not a soap, not a liquid, but a dainty cream shampoo. Leaves hair fragrantly clean, free of loose dandruff, glistening with sheen. Soft, manageable. Gives new beauty to all hairdos or permanents. 4-ounce jar, $1. Smaller sizes, either tubes or jars. Tonight, try Luster Cream Shampoo and be a...
Dream girl, beautiful luster cream girl. You owe your crowning glory to a luster cream shampoo.
And now, once again, here is our Miss Brooks.
Well, after the records were straightened out Friday afternoon, Mr. Conklin gave me the money and told me to be sure and deposit it the following morning. This time I didn't leave it on my dresser. I put the $25 in an old pair of galoshes in the hall closet. I slept until almost 10 o'clock Saturday morning and was just getting out of bed when Mrs. Davis came in.
Oh, I'm so glad you're up, Connie. I thought that was the cutest thing.
You thought what was the cutest thing, Mrs. Davis?
How you tried to give me some advance rent by slipping it into the galoshes you borrowed last night.
Oh, no. You didn't take that money and buy me another dress.
Of course not, Connie. I bought you a lovely leather briefcase to keep the student savings in.
Well, there's only one way out. Get me a needle and thread.
A needle and thread? What are you going to do?
What can I do? I'll sew some sleeves on it and sell it to Mrs. Conklin.
Listen to another Our Miss Brooks show, brought to you by Palmolive Soap, your beauty hope, and Luster Cream Shampoo for soft, glamorous, caressable hair.
Our Miss Brooks, starring Eve Arden, is produced by Larry Burns, written and directed by Al Lewis, with music by Wilbur Hatch.
Men, do you shave with a lather or brushless shave cream? Palmolive shaving cream comes both ways, and whichever way you prefer to shave, you'll find that using either Palmolive brushless or Palmolive lather shaving cream can bring you more comfortable, actually smoother shaves. Here's the proof. 2,548 men tried the new Palmolive way to shave described on the tube. And no matter how they had shaved before, 3 out of every 4 got more comfortable, actually smoother shaves. Get Palmolive brushless or Palmolive lather shaving cream today.
For mystery liberally sprinkled with laughs, listen to Mr. and Mrs. North, the exciting, fun-packed adventures of an amateur detective and his beautiful wife. Tune in Tuesday evenings over most of these same stations. And be with us again next week at this same time for another comedy episode of Our Miss Brooks. Bob Lamont speaking. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Now, medical science offers you proof positive. Yes, medical science offers you proof positive.
No other cigarette is safer to smoke because no other gives you less nicotine, less throat-irritating tars than the new, smoother, better-tasting Raleigh.
The Raleigh Cigarette Program, starring Red Skelton, with David Forrester and his orchestra, our singing star Anita Ellis, Gigi Pearson, Verna Felton, Pat McGeehan, and yours truly, Rod O'Connor. It's a pleasure to bring you Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer's popular comedian and the star of the Raleigh Cigarette Program, Red Skelton.
Thank you very much, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, did you hear that the award's just now on the air?
No, I didn't hear.
I understand that the Bartender's Guide just voted Lost Weekend as the best picture, see? Winchell gave it an orchid, and the bartenders gave it 4 roses.
Red, you look a little tired tonight. What have you been doing?
I've been up all night with a sick routine, you know. The old routine that Major Daniels gave me down there. Tonight, I feel a bit, there's a word here I'm not going to try. I feel a bit debilitated. I'll bet my teacher in Vincennes is proud of me.
Well, what have you been doing, Red?
Well, our sponsor, Mr. Raleigh's in town tonight.
Raleigh?
Yes.
Raleigh, let's see. I do believe I've heard that name before.
Come, old boy. You better remember it or you won't hear it again. Oh, I love this guy. He's so naive. Meets the train, you know. Mr. Raleigh gets up. There he is, standing with a big sign on his back. Smoke Raleigh's and tune in on Tuesday.
Well, Mr. Raleigh enjoyed that.
Oh, yeah. He's got a great sense of humor, you know. I was with him last night. He'd tell a joke, and I'd laugh, and then I'd tell a joke. Then he'd tell a joke, and I'd laugh. He's a nice fellow, though.
Say, did you get him a date with a glamour girl?
No, he wants Rita Hayworth or nothing.
Did you ask her?
Yes, and nothing's getting mighty monotonous. He wanted to go to a Hollywood nightclub for a sandwich.
Well, what did you do?
We sold his Cadillac and went in. I'm proud of that.
Well, say, did Mr. Raleigh have a good time at the nightclub?
Yeah, we saw a very good show. A girl did a fan dance the hard way.
Did a fan dance the hard way?
Yeah, she used a yo-yo with a feather on it.
Did you discuss the radio show with Mr. Raleigh?
Yes, I did. I told him because the show was so successful, I was going to tear up my old contract and ask for a new one. We was up way late into the night.
Celebrating?
No, pasting my contract back together. You know, after all, he pays me $5,000 a week. And $5,000 is a lot of cigarettes, bud.
Well, where's Mr. Raleigh staying?
Well, you know that big apartment, the Wilshire Palms, with a view of the park?
Yeah?
Well, I got him a place in the park with a view of the apartment. No kidding, we got him a room, but I'm having a little trouble with him. He insists on having 4 doors put in it, one for each wall.
Why?
He says if Lana Turner walks by, he's going to be ready.
Hello, Red.
Oh, how are you,
Mr.
Anita?
Raleigh a wonderful man?
He sure is, Anita.
You know, I think you overdid it, though, the way you tried to impress him.
What do you mean?
Well, after all, meeting a train dressed as Sir Walter Raleigh.
You proud of that, aren't you? Well, you know, I told Mr. Raleigh that you were the loveliest, most charming girl I knew, and outside of being the best singer.
Well, you're so sweet, Red. I could throw my arms around you and hug you.
Really? Well, that's not all I said, either. And he said to me, he says he's going to double your salary.
Oh, gee, I think I'll save that hug for Mr. Raleigh.
Well, that'll learn me to keep my mouth shut.
Oh, Red, here's Pat with something for you.
Oh?
Red, you're going to be proud of this. Red Skelton, care NBC Hollywood. Poor Richard board meeting yesterday nominated one Red Skelton to non-resident membership in Ye Old Club. Unanimous approval given by every member. Congratulations, Roger Clipp, President Poor Richard Club. And here, Red, is your ribbon and Poor Richard medal.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much, gentlemen. I'm really honored to be a member of such a great organization that does so much for their fellow man.
Now, medical science offers you proof positive. Yes, medical science offers you proof positive.
No other leading cigarette is safer to smoke because no other gives you less nicotine, less throat-irritating tars than the new, smoother, better-tasting Raleigh.
Yes, exhaustive scientific tests of America's 6 biggest-selling brands, certified by 14 distinguished doctors, including eminent throat specialists, have just proved conclusively. No other leading cigarette gives you less nicotine, less throat-irritating tars. So, no other is actually safer to smoke. See if you don't agree, Raleighs are right. Right for taste, right for throat. Try Raleighs. Enjoy Raleigh's rich tobacco, that milder, smoother, more satisfying Raleigh flavor. Remember, medical science now offers you proof positive.
No other cigarette is safer to smoke because no other gives you less nicotine, less throat-irritating tars than the new, smoother, better-tasting Raleigh.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. And now lovely Anita Ellis sings All the Things You Are.
Makes the lonely winter seem long. You are the breathless hush of evening that trembles on the brink of a lovely song. You are the angel glow that lights a star, the dearest things I know of what you are. Someday my happy arms will hold you, and someday I'll know that moment divine when all the things you are You are the breathless hush of evening that trembles on the brink of a lovely song. You are the angel glow that lights a star, the dearest things I know of what you are. Someday my happy arms will hold you, and someday I'll know that moment divine when all the things you are
Tonight we open our Skelton scrapbook of satire to a story entitled Hospital Capers. Our characters are fictional. Any resemblance to persons living is unintentional, and it shouldn't happen to a dog. Chapter 83 is entitled Afraid of the Doctor. This is the story of Clem Kadiddlehopper, the man with the IQ of 00. 2 empty heads. He's a hypochondriac and will take anything that even looks like a pill.
All the things I am, I was for you. I just don't feel good today. I took my temperature and it's just 2 points under the price of eggs. I really feel bad. I went to see Dr. Gillespie. I sat through the picture 3 times and he didn't even wait on me. I've been taking medicine all week. I took 3 bottles of them vitamin pills. It's pretty hard, too, boy. Them bottles are hard to swallow. I think I'll go tell Sarah Dew. Maybe she'll be sympathetic with me.
Howdy, Clem.
Well, Sarah Dew, howdy doody to you, too.
Imagine running into you. What a surprise.
Yeah, I'm surprised, too. Would you help me come under the car here, please?
What's ailing you? You look serious.
Well, you don't look so good, you know, yourself. I ain't been myself lately. I just...
What's that rope in your hand?
Well, that's got me puzzled. Either I found a rope or I've lost a cow. I don't feel good, so can't seem to think.
Well, Clem, I'd go see a doctor if I were you because you don't look so good.
You said that a while ago, and you don't look so good yourself. Old woman. Yeah.
Why, Clem, I'm not so old. After all, I've still got the schoolgirl complexion.
Yeah, but those awful big diplomas under your eyes.
You just name one girl prettier than me.
Well, that would be pretty hard to do, you know.
Oh, is it, Clem?
Yeah, it'd be hard to name one. There's so many, you know.
Clem, was that a joke?
I thought it was until I said it.
Well, I'm sorry to say this, Clem, but you got bats in your belfry.
Is that who's ringing them bells in my head?
What made you sick, Clem?
I took a box of them pills, you know, that puts iron in your blood.
You took a whole box of pills at once?
Family size, too.
Well, you certainly ought to have iron in your blood now.
You're not kidding. Watch, I'll bend over for you.
Gee, you're going to have to get oiled.
Well, I can't drink a thing. Makes my teeth get all rusty, you know. Goodness, I feel like an old junk heap, you know.
Well, you better come with me to Doc Thompson's office.
No. The last time I was at Doc Thompson's office, he wrote out a prescription for me to take. I took the prescription, and it was the worst tasting paper I ever had in my life. Well, let's go in and see the doc. Come on, we'll go in.
Well, here we are at the doctor's. Come on, let's go in.
Oh, good afternoon, Sarah Dew.
Doc Thompson, will you take a look at my boyfriend, Clem?
Do I have to? My, Clem, you do look pale and wrinkled.
Yeah, it's a Venetian blind. I'm over here.
What seems to be your trouble?
Well, I've been staying up nights trying to figure out what's wrong with me.
You have?
Yep, I was up last night and I found out what it was.
What?
I ain't been getting enough sleep lately.
Well, can you remember what brought this trouble on?
Yes, I do. I took a bunch of them iron pills, you know. I believe I'm turning into a robot.
What makes you think so?
They threw me out of a theater last night for applauding. How do you like that? Real dish-pan hand.
Why, that's awful. You know, if this keeps up, you'll turn into a steel mill.
I know. Already pickets are walking around me.
Well, let's look at your throat.
Okay.
Open wide. Oh, my.
Oh, what is it, Doc?
Well, take a look.
Can I see, too? Or can I? It'd be quite a trick, wouldn't it?
Yes, we'll get a mirror.
No.
Here, look.
Boy, what a throat. Looks like a bowling alley with one pin still standing.
Well, you'll be all right. Just stop eating those things that make iron in your blood, like raisins and spinach.
Yeah, I'll cut out all pork, too. I don't want any pig iron. That's too fast for him. He didn't get it either.
Now, let's see your tongue.
Okay.
Stick it out. Further. Further. Further.
What is it?
It's half red and half plaid.
That's my socks coming through. Well, what do you think, Doc? What do you think?
Well, I think you'd better go to the hospital.
Not me. My mother went to the hospital once.
Well, what happened?
Well, here I am.
Remember, medical science offers you proof positive. Remember, medical science offers you proof positive.
No other leading cigarette is safer to smoke because no other gives you less nicotine, less throat-irritating tars than the new, smoother, better-tasting Raleigh.
Herbert Marshall, popular screen star, says, quote,
I've seen the inside facts on cigarettes, and I'm convinced that medical science has proved no other cigarette gives you less nicotine, less throat-irritating tars. So, no other is safer to smoke than Raleigh's. From now on, I'm a Raleigh fan.
You're right, Herbert Marshall. Raleigh's are right. So, friends, next time, try Raleigh's. Enjoy Raleigh's rich tobaccos. That smoother, milder, more satisfying Raleigh flavor. Remember, medical science now offers you proof positive.
No other cigarette is safer to smoke because no other gives you less nicotine, less throat-irritating tars than the new, smoother, better-tasting Raleigh.
Now, David Forrester and his orchestra play the famous violin solo, Horse Toccata. But instead, 35 men will play the solo simultaneously all together at the same time. David. Chapter 84 is entitled Child Psychiatrist. Child psychiatry is playing a great part in helping our future generation. A good psychiatrist might discover the poor child is backward, a real introvert, or Junior, the mean little kid.
Hold on to me, Grandma. Now, Junior, stay with Grandma.
I will.
Oh, goodness, look at all the traffic.
Yeah.
We'll never get across the street.
Yes, we will, too. I has me little traffic whistle with me. I'm going to blow it. Watch. Look at that Chevrolet playing piggyback. Boy, that's the first time I ever seen a man get on the bus without getting out of his own car.
Give me that quickly, Junior. Give me that. The devil's in you today.
If he is, he's going to be sorry, boy.
Oh, I've stood this long enough.
Don't you hit me.
Junior, they're going to see Dr. Bushel, the famous child psychiatrist.
Well, I'll give him a pick or two. Who's that? What he does?
That's the doctor that looks into your mind.
Oh.
And he can see what's going on.
Really? Can I see, too?
No, Junior. You're too young to see what's going on in your mind.
Oh.
This doctor improves your mind.
Really? Well, boy, he's going to have slim pickings with me, ain't he? Huh? Come on, let's go see them. Huh? I anxious to see them.
Now we're going into the doctor's office. Please be good, Junior.
Does you want me to be good?
Yes.
Me old sweet self?
Yes.
Just like a widow gentleman?
Yes.
Not a chance.
Good afternoon, Mrs.
Skelton.
Oh.
This is my grandson.
Well, young man, hello.
Ah, shut up. Why don't you pretend you was a pound of butter and make yourself scarce? Go ahead.
Schizophrenia.
Yeah. Did you say something or are you catching cold?
Doctor, I hope you can do something with him.
My dear lady, I've spent 20 years studying children like him.
And what's your conclusion?
I'm a bachelor.
Hey, is you really a widow child seeker-weekers?
Junior, I help little children.
You do?
Now, before you leave here, you'll be grateful to me.
Why, you going to give me some gumdrops?
No.
Then we never see eye to eye.
You know, madam, sometimes children idolize an older person so much that they imitate them.
I think he's following in his grandfather's footsteps.
You mean I is staggering?
Yes, Junior.
No. Hey, well, I'll take off my clothes so you can get on with the examination.
Junior, in my work, I don't examine your body. I examine your mind.
Oh, well, I'll take off my hat for you then.
Tell me, Junior, do you have strange dreams?
I sure does. Did you ever hear this one?
Easy does it.
Not that one, Grandma. Another one. You know, last night I dreamed I see Superman and Flash Gordon, and they was fighting. Ooh, it was awful. They was throwing atomic bombs at each other and shooting rocket guns at each other, and they was just about killing each other there. But they didn't do it. You know who stopped them?
No.
Little orphan Annie. I'm proud of that, I am. You know, I used to dream that I was an elephant, squirting water through me nose at people, you know. But lately I've been dreaming that I was an Indian, and I goes around scalping them, you know.
Scalping people?
Yes, my dreams is getting better all the time.
That's very interesting.
From the picture, the same name. I'm glad you like it. Second features are much better, though. Stick around, will you?
What does that dream mean, Doctor?
It means that he has two opposite qualities. He has a good conscience and a bad conscience, and they're always battling for control of him.
Yeah, well, that good conscience ain't much of a fighter, is he?
I don't know. Now, tell me, Junior, all about your childhood as far back as you can remember.
Well, that wouldn't take very long because I ain't been here very long, you know. I remember when I was first born. I never forget that day. The old stork tried to commit suicide. I look up from me little padded cradle, and I saw me pop handing out cigars, you know. And then the next thing I know, someone picks me up, and they're trying to put a three-cornered zoot suit on me.
You know, he's a strange little fellow. He's bad, but really wants to be good.
Junior, do you really remember all that?
Yes, I got a perfect memory. I remember everything, you know.
Then tell me, if you have such a perfect memory,
Yeah?
who put that frog in your grandfather's pajamas last week?
You know, I think my memory is failing me. I can't even remember who put the glue in his bedroom slippers last night.
Very interesting. He definitely has a split personality. Now, we'll test his willpower. Junior,
Yeah?
I want you to go into the next room.
Yeah?
Now, you'll find a lot of different articles, playthings, valuable antiques, and you just go in and make yourself at home.
You mean me? In there with all that stuff? All alone? You realize what you was doing, don't you?
Yes.
You mean you're a regular doctor here? You didn't wander in from someplace.
Oh, no, I'm the regular doctor. But I know you won't touch anything that you shouldn't.
He must be a stranger in town.
Run along like the man says, Junior.
Okay. Oh, goodness. Look at it on the table. Slingshot and a box of rocks. Look at all of them windows and them bases. I wonder if it's a booby trap. Maybe it's a mirage. Maybe it's some kind of a trick. And then what do I care? I'm going to do it anyhow. Give me a rock, boy. I got
Junior, what did you break?
Meow, meow, meow.
You see, it wasn't him after all. It was a cat.
It's still working.
I really know that he broke something, but when he starts to do things like that, use a little psychology on him. Just pretend you don't care, and he'll stop.
Hey, what's going on in here?
Nothing, Junior.
Now, you tell me what you was doing, or is I going to shoot you with a slingshot?
Oh, that would be fun. Go right ahead and shoot me.
It's all right, Junior. Go ahead.
Now, she ought to know better than that. No, I don't want to do it.
You see?
No, I wouldn't shoot you with a slingshot. You's a nice old doc. Could I borrow that hatchet over there?
Now, you wouldn't hit him with a hatchet. You're kidding.
You just keep laughing, kiddo, that's all. You wait till he runs around here with a real split personality.
You've played long enough. Now, give me the rocks and this slingshot.
Okay, here's the rock.
Good heavens, my window.
Boy, it's hot now. Here comes another one.
Look out, Junior.
He hit me.
Heaven, that rock ricocheted. It hit you.
It broke me with a hand.
You shouldn't have encouraged him.
No, you shouldn't have encouraged me.
It's your fault.
It's all his fault.
Oh, bless his little heart.
Yeah, bless his little heart. Well, in psychiatry, I have found that when a person is badly hurt, he never repeats the harmful act. So this boy has learned a great lesson.
He don't know me very well, does he?
Thursday night at the same time. Red Skelton, David Forrester, his orchestra, Anita Ellis, Verna Felton, Gigi Pearson, Pat McGee, and yours truly, Rod O'Connor. Until next Tuesday, then.
This is Red Skelton saying goodbye now, and thanks for listening.
And remember, listen to Hildegard tomorrow night, and The People Are Funny with Art Linkletter Friday night over most of these stations. Red Skelton is heard in this program through the courtesy of Metro Goldwyn Mayer.
Sir Walter Raleigh. That's the tobacco that leaves your pipe as clean as a whistle. It's carefully blended from rich, ripe burleys and mellowed with just a touch of rum to enhance the natural, full-bodied flavor. And Sir Walter Raleigh burns right, slow, even, and cool, right down to the bottom of the bowl. It never leaves your pipe with a soggy heel, just a clean, dry ash. Next time, get Sir Walter Raleigh, the quality pipe tobacco of America.
Red Skelton is brought to you by the Brown and Williamson Tobacco Corporation. This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
Well, sir, the evening meal has been over only a little while as we join our friends in a small house halfway up in the next block now. And we find Mr. and Mrs. Victor Cook and young Mr. Rush Cook enjoying a season of postprandial ease in the living room. Their serenity is short-lived, however, for Sade has just produced consternation. Listen.
You don't mean to tell me that you want me to be going over there and harvest. Well, it's 190 degrees in the shade, Sade. I'd melt into a... You were joking all the time, weren't you?
Not joking a bit.
You mean to tell me that you'd have me move forward?
Please. Person makes an innocent little remark and fellas jump out of their undershirts screaming like panthers.
Then you were joking.
No.
You're serious when you suggest going over in Donahue's basement and carrying out 2 tons of coal?
It's got to be done, hasn't it?
Mom, tonight the fat businessmen play handball down at the YMCA.
Well, you don't have to be there, though. I was cute. Before I mentioned the coal, I said, "What you going to do this evening, Vic?" Mr. Vic said, "Nothing." I said, "You got anything up your sleeve, Rush?" Mr. Rush said, "No."
A very, very ingenious trap.
Oh, what you say we don't bother going through a lot of talking stuff? What you say we slip into our overalls and take care of this little job?
Your mother calls moving 2 tons of coal a little job.
You don't have to move it all this evening.
You're too kind, Sadie. Your heart is bigger than a tub. But I can't let you get away with so much generosity. I'll not only move your 2 tons of coal this evening, but I'll also paint the house and shingle the roof.
Some fellas hate work like they hate a snake.
Most fellas hate the idea of lugging coal around on a stifling hot day.
It's not stifling hot now. The cool of the evening set in. Why, I bet if you glance at the thermometer, you'll know... Rush, don't strain yourself fidgeting around. You're not going anyplace.
Fat businessmen are playing handball down at the YM.
Fat businessmen down at the YM never entered your noodle till I mentioned coal.
Fat businessmen down at the
Go
YM.
fetch you and your father's overalls.
Kiddo, let us leaven our good impulses with common sense. Before we plunge into some rash course of action, let us consider and reflect. Now, you know yourself that...
Overalls?
Yes.
Cellar way?
Yes.
Fat businessmen down at the
Wait,
YM.
Rush. What do you mean, wait, Rush? I told him to do something. Scoot, Rush.
Fat businessmen down at the YM are playing handball and...
Wait, Rush. After the mama's given the child a definite order.
Getting back to the subject of Donahue's and their 2 tons of half-wit coal, may I humbly venture the opinion that summertime is no time
Let me venture an opinion once. They moved away from Virginia Avenue, leaving that lovely pile of coal they couldn't take with them. They said they'd make us a gift of it. Coal is expensive, and here's a monstrous, big, beautiful heap of it we can have for nothing. Shall we let it go?
I'm sure you'll agree with me when I say we're hardly dying for coal in the middle of summer. We've got a long time to wait before the wintry blasts force us to huddle near the furnace and blow our breath on our blue fingers.
You'd wait till next December, huh?
I'd certainly wait till dog days are over. I'd certainly wait
Nick,
until...
don't you appreciate why we ought to get that coal in our cellar as quick as we can?
No.
2 good, solid reasons.
Mutt and Jeff, I suppose. Oh, heck, kiddo, let's
2
forget...
good, solid reasons.
What are they?
One is Mr. Erickson may rent his house any minute. If a new family moved in next door and took possession, what could we do? I bet you haven't thought of that, had you?
No, but
That's true, isn't it? Could we go over next door in some strange family's basement and start carrying away coal? We could not. Why, the chief of police would be here on his motorcycle so fast it'd make your head swim. And besides
My overalls
that...
are all wrinkled.
What?
My overalls are all wrinkled.
Oh, how horrible. Now you won't be able to do a lick of work. Person certainly can't accomplish anything with wrinkled overalls. Put them on. And let's not have any more nonsense. Give your father his.
I don't want mine.
Oh, yes, you do. You'd be black as a 9 of diamonds in 6 seconds if you tried carrying basket loads of coal across the yard wearing a good...
Basket loads of coal?
Sure.
You propose transporting 2 tons of coal by means of rotten little measly baskets?
I don't know as they're so rotten or measly either. Them market baskets down cellar are substantial and hold a good deal.
Why don't we use teaspoons?
Be slipping them on, Rush.
Or here, I got a cavity in my tooth. I'll use that to haul coal in. if disgusting little vulgar market baskets are good
Well,
enough
what
to
would
halt.
you use? A team of horses and a wagon? The coal has to be carried from Donahue's basement to our basement. Distance of about 15 feet.
Surely you listen to a
Rush, get
reasonable...
into them overalls. I'm not going to tell you again.
The handmen playing fatball down at the YM are about
Oh,
to
the
start.
handmen playing fatball down at the YM.
I mean the fat men playing handball. Fat men playing handball down at the
Get in
YM.
them
are-
overalls. You too, Vic. Actually, now, don't you think it's a little ridiculous to waste all this time? You got no plans for this evening. All you do'd be go sit out in the porch swing. Couple of hours of good wholesome exercise will do you good.
Getting dark. Can't work in the dark.
Drowning man grabbing for straws.
What?
Nothing. You won't have to work in the dark. Soon as it gets dark, you can quit.
You said there was 2 reasons why it was necessary to hurry up and break my back after a hot, miserable day, lugging coal around like a slob of a half-wit hippopotamus.
Yeah, 2 reasons. One of them is Mr. Erickson might get his house rented any minute. Might get it lit tomorrow. If that happened, we'd be out our lovely 2 tons of coal.
What's the other reason?
The other reason is I'm pretty sure Mr. Erickson is helping himself to that coal himself.
Yeah?
Yes. I'm pretty sure there's not a day goes by but what he don't stop by and get a few chunks and carry 'em off home in that big satchel of his.
Rather far-fetched, don't you think?
It's Miss Donna who suspects him. She told me yesterday the pile had dwindled something fierce. And don't that sound like him? Why, if he's coming every day and helping himself to a chunk of coal and sneaking it away in his satchel, it won't be very long.
Telephone is ringing.
See who it is, Rush.
Probably Bluetooth Johnson.
Well, if it is, don't get in any long, drawn-out conversations.
He probably wants me to go down to YM and watch the fat men play handball.
Handmen play fatball.
When I said handmen play fatball, I naturally was confused with fat men.
Play handball, yeah. Answer the phone before the party hangs up.
Oh? Hello, Miss Bottom. Just fine, thanks.
500?
Yes.
Sure.
Miss Bottom, ma'am.
Tell him to come right over.
Well, if you people plan to indulge in cards, why can't I proceed on down to YM and witness
The handmen play fatball. Get out of the way.
Tell him to come right on over.
Be putting on your overalls. Hello there, 3rd Lieutenant Stanley. No, finished supper ages ago. Just sitting here with our teeth in our mouth. Uh-huh. Why, say, that sounds fine. Sure, the big muckety-muck says wonderful.
Tell him to come right over.
Why don't you do that? We'll be here. Oh, sure. All right, we'll be looking for you, lady. You bet. All right, Ruthie. Goodbye.
You coming right over?
Oh, coming right over. It's not 6:30 yet.
When are they coming?
When they usually come, around 7:45 or kind of halfway in around through there.
Call back and say we'd like to get an early start. Say Victor wants to get up early in the morning, and if it's all the same to
Now
them...
listen, you boys are going to move that coal.
You mean to say that you still insist
And there's
on
nothing
carrying coal over
about
with
it. Mr. Erickson might get his house rented any second, and we'd be out our lovely heap of coal.
Will
Why
you
must
please
it be
tell
the night
me
when
how
the
I'm
fat
going
men
to be
are
lugging
playing
coal
handball?
and still
Please,
carrying
at least
5
100
Well,
in the
Go down cellar and get the market baskets, and then skip on over to Donahue's. Put on your overalls, Rush. Put on your overalls, Vic. And then run along. I'm a lady with lots of responsibility. I've got 2 little boys to look after and watch over. 2 little tiny helpless boys.
Which concludes another brief interlude at the small house halfway up in the next block.
Duffy's Tavern, starring Archie himself and Gardner.
whether you'll eat meat to eat, Archie the manager speaking. Duffy ain't here. Oh, hello, Duffy. Tonight, Charles Coburn. Charles Coburn. Now, Duffy, don't hang up. All right, so 1 week it ain't a dame. Huh? You never heard of Coburn? Duffy, I'm surprised. The gentleman's histrionic talents have made him one of the foremost exponents of Festus. Yes, he's a ham. Yeah, been in show business for years. How old is he? Well, let me put it this way. He's old enough to know what it's all about, but he ain't young enough to do nothing about it. Yeah, that's right. A lot like Jolson. Except if Coburn never got down on one knee, he'd never get up again. How's business here? Well, we're running ahead of yesterday. Yeah, we was closed yesterday. Well, you know something, Duffy? You know what'd help business here? A doorman, you know, a good front man. Huh? Well, when a customer comes in a place, what's the first thing he thinks about? Right. About leaving. So, we got to have a front man to block the door, and this Coburn is a natural for the job. Yeah. You ought to see the front the guy puts up. His duties, well, we'd expect him to go up to the customers, you know, and inquire, for instance, how they like the food here. Duffy, who's going to hit a guy his age? Well, look, I'm busy now. I'll call you back. But, Duffy, me and Eddie is right in the middle of some very important business. Okay. Okay, Eddie, deal out the cards.
Okay, Miss Archie. Oh, this is a wonderful game, you know? What'd you say the name of it?
It's called Jim Rummy. It's named after that famous gambler, Diamond Jim.
Diamond Jim, huh? I thought this game was called Jim Rummy.
You're thinking of Eli Whitney. Yeah, he invented the cotton gin.
Well, sure, a great game.
Yeah?
Very educational.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. How much you owe me so far?
See, now, you gym me 4 times, 3,000 points. Times it by 7 is 21,000. 21,000 plus 10,000 for boxes is 32,000. Multiplied by 4. It's an even dollar.
Okay, give me the buck.
Okay, here's the buck. Now, lend me the loan of the buck back.
Nothing doing. That's bad luck. I ain't gonna lend you no money.
You won't lend me a lousy buck? That's a fine attitude. Suppose other people felt that way. Suppose Isabella hadn't lent Columbus some money. Do you realize the world would still be flat? Hey, I'm surprised at you.
Hey, Archie, this Charles Coburn who's coming down here tonight.
What about him?
Well, why don't you ever have anyone like Robert Hale or a Tyrone Power to meet me?
Tyrone Power? Look, Miss Duffy, when a guy's got a filet mignon at home, he don't go out to eat hash. I might further mention that to get guys like Tyrone Power down here, we'd have to induce them with a little sex appeal.
Sex appeal? What is it? Nothing but sheer plain animal attraction.
Animal attraction. Look, have you ever been to the burlesque?
Yeah.
Ever see crowds like that at the zoo?
Incidentally, how old is Mr. Coburn?
What's it to you?
Well, in case he happens to find me irresistible.
Look, Miss Duffy, the guy may have gray hair, but his opticals are still good. Now, beat it, will you? I wish to be alone.
All right.
My wish has been granted. What's the matter with you, Finnegan? You look a little tired.
Oh, yeah. I couldn't sleep a wink last night.
Couldn't sleep, huh? Did you try counting sheep?
Yep. Counted up to 864.
Yeah, still couldn't get to sleep?
Oh, the room got so stuffy, I had to get up and open the window.
How come?
I made a mistake. Instead of sheep, I was counting goats. thing that kept me awake was a loud party going on upstairs.
Well, why didn't you go upstairs and tell them to shut up?
Well, as it turned out, I didn't have to. You see, the ceiling in my apartment ain't too strong.
So?
So the next thing I know, I'm dancing with a tall blonde.
You mean the party dropped in on you and carried on in your apartment?
Well, not exactly.
What do you mean, not exactly?
Well, as you know, the floor in my apartment ain't too strong neither.
So you dropped in on the people downstairs?
Sure.
How long did this party last?
Clear through to the basement. You know them penthouse parties, they go on for a long time. So, as I say, I didn't get a wink of sleep.
Well, what'd you do all night?
Played solitaire with my brother.
Solitaire with your brother? Two of you playing solitaire?
What else could we play? We only had one deck of cards.
Oh, so you played cards, huh? I didn't know you was a card player.
Oh, I'm very good at it, Art.
Maybe we can get up a little game.
Well, good.
All right, we'll play dealer's choice. What game do you like?
Flipping them into a hat. Boy, that's a wonderful card game.
It's a better card game than it is a joke. Flipping them into a hat. I thought that was very funny. Flipping them into a hat. Huh?
Yeah, I thought so, too.
Look, how would you like to play a little rummy?
Little rummy? Why not? I'll play anybody.
I mean Jim Rummy.
Oh, Jim Rummy.
The new card game.
How do you play it?
I'll show you. You got any money?
Well, I got $50.
In that case, I think I can teach you the game.
Oh, thanks, Doc. And I think you'll find that I learn very fast.
Well, if you learn very fast, how come you don't know nothing?
Oh, easy come, easy go.
Glad you feel that way, Finnegan. Now, put up to 50 cents.
Okay.
All right. Now, card for you, card for me. Card for you, card for me.
Miss Archer, how can you do it?
It'll be a lesson, Tometi. It'll teach him not to gamble.
Now, back to Duffy's Tavern.
Well, Finnegan, that's that.
Okay, Arch. You owe me $3.
$3, okay. Here you are.
Oh, thanks, Arch. And hey, wait a minute.
What?
That guy that just came in. I think I seen him in the movies. Ain't that Faye Baker?
Finnegan, that's Charles Coburn. Coburn, may I tell you that many great stars have passed through these portholes. But you are the portliest of them all. And furthermore, may I say that we are indeed pleased...
Oh, shut up. So this is Duffy's Tavern, hmm?
Mm-hmm.
Where's Duffy?
He's home.
He's smart.
The place?
Well, it's sort of broken down and decrepit. But then, who am I to talk?
That's right. At least you got a roof over your head. By the way, are you keeping busy these days?
Oh, yes. My days are quite full. Pictures, radio, personal appearances, looking for work.
Tell me, how long have you been an actor?
About 50 years.
50 years, almost a decade. Look, as long as you brought it up, just how old a man are you?
Approaching 65.
Mm-hmm. Tell me, at an age like that, what do you do for amusement?
Oh, I collect antique furniture.
Antique furniture? Did you buy these antiques when they was new?
except the 18th century stuff. John Quincy Adams outbid me.
Say, Archie.
We're in trouble. I suppose you want an introduction?
To him? I'm afraid he doesn't appeal to a person of my sex.
Archie.
Yeah?
What sex is that?
She's a girl.
You could have fooled me.
Well, we might as well get it over with. Miss Duffy, this is Charles Coburn.
How do you do?
No, I'm sorry, Mr. Coburn, but May can never wed December.
Miss Duffy, December had no intention of asking you.
Miss Duffy, can't you see that he ain't interested in you?
Oh, no? Did you see the look in his eyes?
Forgive me, dear lady. I was carried away by your lovely, ravishing face. I can go along with the gag.
Tell me something, Mr. Coburn.
Yes?
Do girls go out with you?
Oh, once in a while.
How do they explain you to their folks?
They usually say, Mama, see what I'll have to marry if you don't let me go out with Joe?
Well, Mr. Coburn, don't feel too bad. Remember, any girl who'd go out with you isn't worth having anyway.
Miss Duffy, will you please desist your presence? Me and the gentleman here has some business to discuss. Tell me, Mr. Coburn, how long did you say you've been an actor?
50 years.
50 years, huh? Don't you think you ought to settle down to a steady job?
A steady job? Where?
Here in Duffy's Tavern.
I'd rather marry Miss Duffy.
The hard way, huh? Look, it happens that we have a very important job open.
What kind of a job?
We need a front man.
A front man?
Yeah, and you're just the type, you know. Prosperous looking, well-fed, well-dressed, businesslike, perfect phony. Well, what do you say?
But, Archie, a job like that, wouldn't it tie me down?
Not too tied down. Take me. I worked here, and I wasn't too tied down to do a picture for Paramount.
Yes, I saw that picture.
Oh, really? What'd you think of it?
You should be tied down.
Mr. Coburn, for a man who is seeking employment, I should think you'd be a little more diplomatic.
I was only fooling, Archie.
Oh, really?
I really enjoyed the picture.
Did you?
Yes, especially Dorothy L'Amour. In that sarong. Oh.
How old did this guy say he was? Like that sarong, huh?
Yeah, didn't you?
Personally, I never gave it a second thought. I was too busy with the first thought. But what a cast we had in that picture. Remember Bing Crosby?
No.
He was in it. Remember Betty Hutton?
Yes.
Remember Victor Moore?
No.
Remember Veronica Lake?
Yes.
Remember Alan Ladd?
No.
Remember Diana Lynn?
Yes.
Looks like December has moved up a couple. Yeah, it was a great cast. We had 34 stars in addition to me.
Yes, 34 stars and 1 eclipse.
Excuse me. Hello? Oh, hello, Duffy. No, I ain't got him out on the sidewalk yet. Huh? Well, I figure on rainy days we can let him stand inside, you know, next to the cash register. Well, Duffy, we can have him bonded. Look, Duffy, there's nothing to worry about. He's the settled type, you know, not bright enough to steal and too old to run. Incidentally, how much you think we should pay him? Duffy, he can make more money than that out of Social Security. Huh? Okay. be with you in a second, Mr. Coburn. Eddie, Duffy says we gotta test the guy's character before we hire him.
Character, huh?
Yeah, and I agree with him, you know. I won't have nobody around here, Eddie, unless he's honest. There's two things we gotta have. Character and honesty. Now, we gotta test the guy.
How?
We'll flip him in a poker game. That's the sure way to test out a guy's character, you know, to play him poker.
Suppose you win.
Then he's fired. We can't have guys around here without character. Now, look, fellas. Leave us not scare this guy off by mentioning poker right away, you know. I'll lead him up to it gradually, you know, subtle-like.
Subtle-like, huh?
Yeah. Mr. Coburn.
Yes?
Speaking of baseball, them St. Louis Browns is the best baseball team in St. Louis. Don't you think so?
No, I like the Cards.
Speaking of cards, how would you like to indulge in a nice sociable game of, say, Jim Rummy?
Well, frankly, I don't know much about cards.
A pigeon. You say you don't know much about cards?
No. About 6 years ago, I did play a game called poker.
Poker, huh? What kind of a game is that?
Well, it's been so long ago, I've forgotten.
Me too. Why don't we play again? Maybe it'd come back to us, huh?
All right. If you'll promise to be patient with the greenhorn.
I'm even greener than you.
No, I'm much greener than you.
Nah, I'm a lot greener than you.
You're the two greenest actors I ever seen.
Well, get the cards. Fellas, we got a real sucker here. This guy don't know a thing about poker.
Poker! Oh, boy, poker!
Do you play poker?
No. No, I don't, but I got some luck.
If you got any kind of luck at all, that's the kind. Now, Finnegan, all you got to remember in poker is one thing. Don't go into a pot unless you got four of a kind.
Four of a kind?
That's right. Yeah. Don't go in unless you got four of a kind.
Okay, I got it.
Well, Mr. Coburn, what shall we play first? Say, 1 and 2?
All right, 100 and 200.
Shall we compromise?
All right.
2 cents and 4 cents. All right, now, let's start the game. Go ahead and deal out the cards. By the way, you do know how to deal, don't you?
Well, I used to be able to. Now, let me see. 3 missing. Fortunate coincidence, I happen to have a deck of cards right here in my pocket.
Oh, really? In your pocket? How long did you say it was since you played?
6 years. This is an old coat. I wonder if I'll be able to remember how to play this poker.
Yeah, I wonder if I'll remember too. How are we going to play?
Straight poker. Jacks are better, nothing wild.
I got a queer feeling that ain't such an old coat.
Well, let's look now. See here, what have I got? I'll open it. I bet 4 cents. Wait, no, I don't.
Leave it there. That's down or dead.
Are you staying, Eddie?
No, I'm dropping out. Me too.
Me too. You win the pot, Mr. Coburn.
Oh, do I win?
Yep, take the money.
Well, this is great fun. Beginner's luck, I guess.
Yeah, what'd you have?
A pair of bullets. I mean, 2 ones.
You deal next, Eddie. By the way, Finnegan, what did you drop out with?
Oh, nothing. 3 kings.
You dropped with 3 kings.
Well, you told me to only go in with 4 of a kind.
Yeah, that's right. Well, yeah, I won't do that. Just wait till you get 4 of a kind.
Well, here's your cards, gentlemen. Oh, boy! I open it!
You open it, Finnegan?
Yeah.
In that case, I think I'll drop out.
And me too. Well, I think I'll stay.
Brave boy.
Okay, how many cards you drawing?
None. I think I'll stand pat.
Oh, yeah? Well, I'll stand pat, too.
A very shrewd poker, Finnegan.
Here's my bet.
I raise you.
I raise you.
I said it first.
He's got a right to raise you. This is a democracy. But you can re-raise him.
Oh, okay. And I raise, and it's re-raise, and I raise, and I re-raise you again.
I double it.
Okay, I'll drop out.
Drop out. Why?
We ain't got enough dough.
I might back you if you got what I think you got.
Don't worry, Arch. I got him.
Got him, huh? That's good enough for me. Mr. Coburn, we raise you 2.
4.
8.
16.
32.
64.
Give me a pencil.
Queen, king, ace.
A straight? That's all? Finnegan.
Yeah.
Show your cards.
Here you are, Rod.
Let's see. 10, 4, 2, 7. Jack. Finnegan, where's the 4 of a kind?
There they are, 4 spades.
Well, gentlemen, I thank you very much. Good night.
Good night, Mr. Coburn. Hey, wait just a second. I think this ace belongs to you. It just fell out of your cup.
Oh, did it? Well, you may keep it. I've got 1 million of them.
With you next week.
It's home to leave Duffy's Tavern for now, but be sure to be with us again next time for another hilarious get-together at everybody's favorite tavern.
You howled at him when he played the Marine in Wake Island. You cried with him in Lifeboat, Hollywood's magnificent mug.
Looks ain't everything. Brains is important, too. Now, take me. I got more brains in my little finger than I got in my whole head.
William Bendix in The Life of Riley. Tonight and every Sunday night, the American Meat Institute, on behalf of all those engaged in supplying meat to the nation, presents The Life of Riley with William Bendix as Riley. The meat people of America providing a great food for a great nation. This year, your meatpacking industry will probably process about 90 million hogs, the greatest number in history. That's a lot of pork, America. But our fighting forces and our folks at home will need it all. And now, the life of Riley. After a month of living in a little rented houseboat, the Rileys are back in their little bungalow in town. It's Sunday, war worker Riley's day off. The brilliant California sunshine is streaming into the living room of their bungalow, where we find Riley sprawled out on a mohair couch.
Riley? Riley?
Dumpling.
Are you going to waste the whole day just lying around here?
Huh? Oh, no, of course not. I got lots to do. I'm going places.
Where, for instance?
Well, first I'm going out in the backyard and sit around for a while. And then I'm going next door to Little Waldo Binny's and sit around there for a while. And then I'm going over to the BPLA clubhouse and sit around there for a while. And by that time I'll be pretty tired out, so I'll come home here and sit around for a while.
Well, that's a fine way to spend your day off.
Well, what else is there to do, Dumpling?
Well, I thought that as long as the children will be at the beach until late, I sort of thought the two of us might make a night of it. You know, go out to dinner, take in a movie.
Oh, movies. They're too crowded on Sunday nights. We always have to wait in the lobby, and I can't sleep standing up.
Riley, you never want to go. I'm afraid you're getting old.
Well, hello? Mrs. Riley? Yeah, she's there. Who's calling? Mr. Monahan? Well, just a minute. Thank you. For you, it's a gentleman friend, Mr. Monahan.
Monahan? I don't know any Monahan. Hello? Oh, yes, this is Peggy. Well, who is it, please?
Peggy. Hey, what is this?
Sidney Monahan. Well, of all people. Why, dear, it's Sidney Monahan. You know, Butch from Brooklyn.
Butch? That foul ball from Ebbets Field?
Why, of course I remember you, Sidney. A girl doesn't forget an old flame.
What's he calling you for?
Shh. Why, it's wonderful to hear from you again, Sidney. Tell me all about yourself. Oh, just a minute. Riley, I think the coffee's boiling over in the kitchen. Will you go and see, dear?
No, it ain't. I turned the gas off.
Yes, I'm here, Sidney. Yes, I'm listening. You didn't. Oh, you're a darling.
Darling? Hey, Peg, I'm the only darling around here.
Oh, be quiet. Oh, no, not you, Sidney. Oh, go on with your Butchie. You always wear a fresh thing.
Tell them about Babs and Junior, our two children. Tell them.
Oh, now, you shouldn't say things like that, Sidney. Remember, I'm an old married woman now.
Right, Peg, the coffee's boiling over. Hang up on it.
What? Oh, that's just my husband.
Just my husband. Hang up, Peg. I'm expecting a call. Get that phone.
Why, of course I want to see you before you leave. Tonight? Well, I think so. I haven't got anything planned. Yes, I think I can make it. All right, call me later, Sidney. Goodbye. What? Oh, surely. Oh, he wants to talk to you, dear.
I ain't got nothing to say to that guy, and I don't want to hear it.
Riley, don't be rude. Just say hello to him.
Okay, give me the phone. Hello, Monahan. Nice to hear from you. Goodbye.
Right. Might have been a little more polite.
That big ape. Remember when he tried to flirt with you before we was married? I had to punch him in the nose. I ain't forgotten that.
Dear, it was Butch who punched you in the nose.
I ain't forgotten that either.
Anyway, that was 18 years ago. I'm sure Butch has no grudge against you.
Well, he should have. I took you away from him, didn't I?
Why, Riley, I believe you're still jealous of Butch.
Jealous? Jealous? Me? Hey, Peg, what was that about seeing him tonight, Butch?
Well, he wants us to come over and talk about old times. He's going back to Brooklyn tomorrow.
I ain't going to see him. I got nothing to talk about.
Oh, Riley, you're acting like a schoolboy.
There's only one thing I got to say to Butch Monahan, and it's the same thing Horace Greeley said. Go east.
But, Riley, after all, Butch...
I don't want to hear another word, and that's final.
Riley, you're...
And I ain't jealous. Hello, Waldo.
You taking the air?
Oh, I think I'm getting it.
I don't understand.
Tell me, Waldo, how long you been married?
5 years. 5 long years. 5 long years, too long.
Yeah. Well, maybe you can help me, Waldo. I got a problem on my head. It's about marriage and women, you know.
Well, you've come to the right man. Oh, I'm quite an authority on the female of the species. There's 3 of them living in my house.
3?
Yeah. My wife, my wife's aunt, and her French poodle. I learned a lot studying them.
Oh, well, then maybe you can advise me, only forget what you learned from the French poodle.
Yeah. What's the problem?
Well, this morning, Butch Monahan, an old boyfriend of Peg's from Brooklyn, has the nerve to call up and ask to see her. My wife.
Aha, and you're jealous.
Jealous? Me? No, this guy don't mean a thing to Peg as long as she's got me. She likes me lots better than most of the men she knows. I'm not jealous, no.
Riley, you aren't deceiving me. You're worried.
No, I ain't worried. Only Peg shouldn't have been so happy when she heard his voice. She hears my voice every day, and she's never that happy.
Mr. Riley, I'm afraid that you don't understand women. You know, there's an art to making a woman happy.
Well, sure there is. You don't have to tell me. You fix them up in a little house, lots of closet space. You tell them they're the best cooks in the world and slip them your pay envelope every week. What more does a woman want?
Uh-huh. Riley, I'm going to be brutally frank. I see it's happened to you, just as it's happened to millions of other husbands.
What?
You take your wife for granted.
Who? Me?
A woman doesn't like to be chained to the stove all the time. She likes her husband to take her out and show her a good time.
Well, I take Peg out for a good time every Saturday night regular. I take her to watch me bowl.
Doesn't she find that a little dull?
No, well, when she gets bored watching the match, she takes out her needle and knits me socks.
Bowling. Socks. Didn't you ever take her out to dinner in a swell restaurant, a show, dancing?
Sure, dozens of times. And then we got married.
Well, that's just it. Now, what about after marriage? Now, you know, women are romantic creatures. They like attention, little courtesies, flattery. They want to be courted constantly.
Yeah, you know what, Waldo?
No.
I've been taking Peg for granted.
No.
Waldo, you don't think that maybe Peg don't love me no more?
Oh, I wouldn't say that, no. No, but it could happen if you don't change your attitude.
Yeah, you're right. I'm changing my whole personality. During the day, I'll be Riley the Riveter, but at night, I'm Riley the Romeo. Yoo-hoo, sweetheart! Sweetheart!
Who is it?
I don't like this.
Oh, it's you.
Yeah.
I thought you'd gone to your BPLA meeting.
No, Dufflin. The Brooklyn Patriots of Los Angeles can wait. First I wanted to see you, Dufflin.
Oh, what's that you're holding behind your back?
Oh, just some roses I bought.
Who's sick?
Nobody's sick. I bought them for you. Here.
For me? Why, Riley,
$5 worth of American Beauty.
Oh,
Well, they're lovely, dear, but why on earth?
There's a card there. Here, read what it says.
Oh, please. American Beauties for the Queen of America's Cuties.
Romantic, huh?
Oh, Riley, you're a darling.
That ain't all. I got something in my other hand. Here. A $2.5 box of McGuire's French bonbons. Here.
Oh, bonbons.
Yeah.
Oh, well, Riley, I just don't know what to say.
Well, now, don't say nothing. Just pucker up. That's on account. On account of I love you. And there's lots more where that came from, Peggy Pie.
Peggy Pie. Why, dear. Oh, you haven't called me that in years.
Remember the first time I called you that?
Mm-hmm. Of course I do.
We were standing looking in the window of Dingle's Bakery. All of a sudden, it popped into my head. Peggy Pie. I don't know what made me think of it.
Oh, dear, I really appreciate the flowers and bonbons, but what's the occasion?
I don't need no occasion to be nice to my wife. I ain't like a million other husbands. I'm the romantic type. I believe in courting the girl you love before, during, and after marriage.
Well, dear, you've made me very happy. Oh, well, now I better get started on our supper.
No, nothing doing. No wife of mine is going to bend over a hot stove if I can help it.
Silly, I've been doing it for 18 years.
I know, but tonight that stove deserves the rest. I mean, you... So tonight I'm taking you out. Now, that's a promise.
Oh, dear, that's wonderful. I've been dying to step out.
Well, it's all set. As soon as I get back from my lodge meeting, we'll get going. Taxis, restaurants, shows, dancing. I'm shooting the works. I got $4 that's burning a hole in my pocket. All right, gang, start the meeting. Your next president's here.
Hey, Riley, you're late. Ike and me's been waiting for you. Come on, we gotta go.
Wait a minute, Snooker. Where are we going? What about the meeting?
Well, the meeting was adjourned before it started. We're going to a party in Sheik Evans' place.
What do you mean? Sheik's in the army. He's in Burma or someplace.
He was. He just flew into town just for a couple hours. He's throwing a big spread for all the guys. Sure, let's get going.
Wait a minute now. Don't confuse my brain. What time will we get back from the Sheik?
Oh, 3, 4 in the morning. Who cares? Come on, let's scram.
Okay, but I got to go home first and get my wife.
No dames, Riley. This is strictly stag.
Oh, well, then I can't go.
You gotta go. Everybody's going. Sure. After all, it was Sheik who started the BPLA, and now you're running for president of the lodge. It's your duty.
Yeah, I know, but I already got an important date.
With who?
With my wife. I got a date with my wife.
Did you have any trouble getting it? Since when is taking the missus out a date? Sure, you can take her out anytime. Sure, call it off.
No, I can't do that.
Sure you can. I had a date with my missus, but I called it off.
Just like that?
Yeah. I gave her 22 cents to go to the movie. Yeah, and I dumped my volunteer with the in-laws. Let them suffer for a while. Yeah.
Well, I know, but I'm different from you guys. You guys take your wives for granted. I can't call it off.
Why, are you afraid of your conscience?
My conscience ain't said a word to me. I run my own business.
Then phone up your wife. Go on, you're scared.
No, I ain't scared.
What a character. Scared of his own wife.
Yeah. And Tex Riley. Wait a minute now. Cut it out, fellas. You got me wrong. I wear the pants in my house.
Yeah, don't give us that.
In my house, what I say goes.
All right, then. Phone the missus up and say you ain't taking her out.
Well, sure, okay. I'll phone her. I'll show you guys.
Hey, Riley, where you going?
I'm going downstairs to use the phone.
What for? We got a phone right here, and it's free, too.
Yeah. I'll phone.
That's the way. And don't take no for an answer.
You just leave it to me. I'll be putty in her hands.
Hello?
Oh, hello, Dumpling.
Get a load of that dumpling.
I mean, hello, Margaret.
Oh, is that you, dear?
Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt this program to bring you a bulletin from the Blue Network newsroom in Los Angeles. American warships frustrated a Japanese attempt to reinforce their beleaguered forces on Peleliu Island. The Americans destroyed a Jap convoy of 14 vessels, some of them carrying men and equipment. The Japanese losses were heavy. This bulletin came to you
from the Blue Network newsroom in Los Angeles.
Come up. Is anything wrong?
No, nothing's wrong. It's just that...
take your nose out of the phone, Riley, before she puts a ring.
Hello, Riley.
Look at him, afraid to open his yap.
Look, Dumplin'.
That wants to be our next president. Bad chance. Scared stiff of his wife.
Oh, scared of us. Listen, Peg, I can't take you out tonight, and that's final. And never mind why.
But, Riley...
I'll take you out when I'm good and ready.
Riley!
Goodbye.
That's the way to handle him, Riley. Okay, guys, let's go. Come on, Riley.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, I'm just in the mood for a party. Anybody got an aspirin?
Well, while Playboy Riley is on his way to that gay party, this is Wendell Niles, the spokesman for your meat industry. Mother puts the pot roast on as a smile on her lips and water in the mouth of everyone who likes honest Injun food and flavor. Let's talk about pot roast, It's brown and it's juicy. It sends off short waves of aroma of meaty invitation. Pot roast is surrounded with red of tomatoes, the orange of carrots, the green of beans, the ivory white of potatoes. The gravy of pot roast is one of the classics of all those good meat gravies. Then get a piece of pot roast on your plate, surrounded by those vegetables, drenched by that gravy. And brother, sister, folks, here's tender, easy-eating, savory meat that says, aren't you glad that you're home and hungry? Be even gladder, pot roast people, for that lovely pot roast is packed with proteins. Not only proteins, but top-flight quality proteins. We can't see them, but our bodies sure need them to grow on, to keep in repair with, to keep fit on. In fact, all meat pot roast or pork chop, fresh, smoked, or canned, is a yardstick of protein food, because meat measures up to every protein need. And now back to The Life of Riley with William Bendix as Riley. It's an hour later, and Riley, very conscience-stricken, but trying to conceal it from the boys of the BPLA, is just arriving at the Sheik Evans house.
Well, this is the gent. Ring the bell, Ike. Okay, Snooker. Hey, Riley, come on. What's the matter with you? What are you looking so blue about?
I'm not blue. I'm very happy.
Then for Pete's sake, smile. Laugh once in a while.
I'm laughing.
He's still worrying about his wife.
Who's worried? Me? Go on.
Hiya, gang. Glad to see you. Hiya, good learn. Come on in. Meet the girls.
Girls? Hey, wait a minute. I thought this was a stag.
Well, that was the idea but a half hour ago, but 5 of my fiancés dropped in to say goodbye.
Well, what are we waiting for?
Sure, come on in. The joint's jumping.
Lead the way, Sheik. Hey, Riley. What are you standing out there for?
I just want to button my shoelace up.
Well, don't take all night.
Okay, I'll be right. Well, I can't stay here all night tying and untying the shoelace. Guess I'd better go in.
Riley, wait. Riley, don't go in there.
Why shouldn't I go in there?
Riley, listen to me. I'm your conscience.
Yeah, I know. Leave me alone, will you? The last time you was around, I was filling out my income tax.
Yes, I had to put up quite a battle for that 65 cents.
Well, beat it. I'm going into the party. The guys are waiting for me. Go on.
Riley, what about Peg? You promised to take her out, didn't you?
Yeah, but...
Tonight, you said.
Well, I'll take her out tomorrow night.
You know you're going bowling tomorrow.
Bowling? Yeah, but that's only so I'll keep healthy, so I can work, so I can support Peg.
Is that the only reason you bowl?
Well, I'm also crazy about bowling.
Poor Peg. She works so hard. What did you ever do to make her life easier?
Well, I bought her an iron and a vacuum cleaner and a washing machine, didn't I? And didn't I even show her how to use them?
And is that payment for years of devotion?
Well...
Are you grateful, or are you a rat?
I'm a grateful rat.
Was it right for you to yell at her over the phone?
No.
Is it right to go to this party where there are strange women?
Well, I was forced. Yeah, that's it. I was forced into it.
Don't be a weakling. Go home before it's too late. Home to your Peggy pie.
That's it. I'll go home. I'll go right now. Goodbye.
I'm coming with you.
Well, hello. Where are you going, big boy?
Hello. Goodbye. I'm going home. I can't.
What's your hurry? The party's just starting. Come on over, big boy.
Well, I really ought to be going.
You're awfully shy, aren't you?
You better let go of my hand. My conscience won't like it.
Oh, you're a scream. Come on, sit down.
Don't sit down, Riley.
No, I don't think I'd better, miss. I gotta go.
Oh, don't go yet. My name's Lorraine, but all my boyfriends call me Cuddles.
Well, my name's Riley, but all my boyfriends call me Riley. I really gotta be going.
Why? Where did you get such nice, wavy hair?
It came with the head.
Oh, you know, I wish I was a big, strong man like you are.
Why?
So I could show a weak, helpless girl like me how strong I was.
Riley.
Miss Cuddles, would you please let go of my hand?
Why? Don't you like girls?
No, only when I'm married.
Oh, gee, you're a fast worker. Is this a proposal, honey?
Oh, no. There's something you don't understand. I'm already married to a girl.
Married?
Yeah, I've been for 18 years. I got 2 kids. You want to see their pictures?
Well, you have your nerve coming out here and flirting with me, you bigamist?
Well, I did not flirt with you. I only flirt with my wife. I know her personally.
The idea of wasting my time. You should be ashamed of yourself, you with a wife.
Now, look, Miss...
Oh, no way. Getting so a nice girl isn't safe these days.
Well, Miss...
Riley, you should have gone home when I told you.
Oh, how could I go? I ain't got no car.
There are buses running.
It's 3 miles to the bus stop.
You can walk to the bus.
Okay, I'll walk to the bus. Now leave me alone.
I'll never leave you alone. I'm getting on that bus with you.
Okay, then you'll pay your own fare. Yoo-hoo. Sweetheart. Peggy pie. Dumpling. Peg.
She won't answer.
Shut up, Conscience. Peg, where are you?
She isn't here.
Well, go on. She'll be back soon. She must be visiting with the Binnies.
There are no lights in the Binny house.
Maybe the fuses blew out.
You know where she is.
Well, she must have gone to the movies.
Maybe she did. Maybe she did.
Well, sure. I'll just sit down and wait until she gets back.
But suppose she didn't go to the movies. Suppose she kept that date with Butch Monahan.
No, she wouldn't. My Peg ain't interested in Butch. This is address. She wrote it on the telephone pad. She did go to Butch Monahan.
Why shouldn't she, after the way you talked to her on the phone?
I never knew I was such a brute.
Don't stand there. Do something.
Yeah. I'm going to this Butch Monahan and tell him off. I once punched him in the nose, and I can do it again.
It was Butch who punched you in the nose.
Yeah, and he can do it again.
Who's there?
Open up this door.
Yeah, what is it?
I ain't afraid of you, Butch Monahan. Get out of my way before you break every bone in my body.
Why, it's Riley.
What about it?
The same old sorehead. Always looking for a punch in the nose.
Monahan, I didn't come here to munch words. There's only one thing I want to know. Is my wife in there?
Sure.
Then step outside.
What? Is something wrong? Why, Riley, what are you doing here?
Peg, get your coat. I'm taking you out of here.
Oh, now, Riley, don't be rude.
Yeah, stop being yourself. Come on in. The missus just making some coffee.
Peg. Now he's got you making him coffee.
Oh, no, not me, dear. Mrs. Monahan.
Well, you can tell Mrs. Monahan that I don't accept... Mrs. Monahan?
Shh. Now wake the kids.
Children?
Sure. Didn't Peg tell you I was married to the most beautiful dame in the USA? And I got 3 beautiful kids.
Well, I tried to tell Riley this morning, but he was a little upset.
You're married, Butch? Well, gee, that's swell. Did you marry a Brooklyn girl?
No, she was born in Manhattan. But she's taken out her first papers.
Yeah, well...
Well, come on in and park yourself. We'll shoot a fact.
Okay, Butch, we'll be in a minute. I just want to talk to Peg out here private like. You don't mind?
Sure, but don't take too long.
No, we'll...
Talk, you'll get cold.
Okay, we'll be... Dumpling, are you mad at me?
Oh, what for, dear?
For the way I spoke to you on the phone like a roughneck. That ain't like me, Peg.
Oh, you didn't fool me. I heard the boys teasing you while you were on the phone, and, well, after you hung up, I just put two and two together and realized what happened.
Gee, Dumpling, you're the smartest wife I ever had.
Oh, I wasn't so smart. After 18 years, I ought to know how you really feel about me, no matter what you say.
That's right, Dumpling. Always remember, no matter what happens, no matter what I say, I'll always have a sore spot in my head for you.
Don't go away, folks. The Rileys will be right back. This is a report to housewives from your meat industry on what you may expect these days in the way of meat for your meals. Now, for instance, pork, so plentiful a few short weeks ago, is not as readily available now. The reason that pork is now scarce is that the government has had to set aside approximately one-third of the supply for military use. On the other hand, 600 million pounds of beef and veal were produced in August alone, the largest production of any month on record. And even though a recent government order sets aside 60% of the top grades of beef for military and lend-lease use, beef or veal is still your best present bet for meat on the table. Fewer fancy roasts and steaks, certainly, but plenty of lean, no-point beef. So we suggest when you think of meat these days, think of those substantial twist steaks and pot roasts, those savory beef stews, those glistening short ribs, those handy meatloafs and hamburgers, those fine flavored loin end steaks. In other words, the braising cuts of beef. Or how about veal birds bulging with tasty dressing? Remember, all cuts of meat are highly nutritious, containing essential, highest quality protein. Meat is a yardstick of protein foods because meat measures up to every protein need. All statements regarding the nutritional value of meat made on this program are accepted by the Council on Foods and Nutrition of the American Medical Association.
Hey, Peg.
What is it, dear?
Did you hear that crack Butch Monahan made? He said he married the most beautiful girl in the USA. He means he almost married her, only I beat him to it.
Oh, go on.
Dumpling, do me a favor.
What?
Give me a kiss.
All right.
Now listen to me, Riley.
Beat it, conscience. This is one time I ain't listening to you. Folks, this is William Bendix reminding you that tomorrow is the start of the vitally important campaign to raise $250 million for the National War Fund. The dollars we give will buy books and tools for American war prisoners. Will go to help the wives and children of servicemen who are alone at home. To buy food for a war-working child abroad. And there are 1,000 other channels into which our help will flow to aid those who need it desperately. Those far less fortunate than we are. So tomorrow, let's all give generously to something that makes us all proud to be part of America. The National War Fund. Thank you, folks. See you next week. Night.
Starring William Bendix is presented by the American Meat Institute next week at the same time. You'll enjoy William Bendix in the Edward Small motion picture Abroad with Two Yanks, coming soon at your local theater. The Life of Riley was directed by John Bernard with music by Lou Kozloff. This is Wendell Niles in Hollywood, pinch-hitting for Brother Ken, saying, see you next week. This is the Blue Network.
Of Postum, the favorite mealtime drink in 3 million American homes, present your favorite radio friends, Lum and Abner. There's only one fellow in the world who wants to stay awake all night, and that's the night watchman. He gets paid for it. But the rest of us like to hop into bed and get a good, long, restful sleep. And when we lie there staring into the dark, turning and tossing restlessly, we know that something is wrong, and that something may be coffee. For although many people can drink coffee without any ill effects, many others should never drink it. If you are one of these, switch to Postum. Postum contains no caffeine or other stimulant that might disturb your sleep. It's simply whole wheat and bran, skillfully roasted and slightly sweetened. You'll love Postum, too, with its steaming, tempting aroma and its rich, delicious flavor, mellow and satisfying, a flavor that is Postum's own, that has made Postum the favorite mealtime drink of 3 million American families. Postum is easy to make and economical, too. It costs less than 1/2 cent a cup. If coffee has been keeping you awake, get Postum tomorrow and see if you don't sleep better and feel better. And now, let's see what's going on down in Pine Ridge. Well, the moving picture camera Lum and Abner ordered from Hollywood arrived last Saturday. And at last the old fellows are ready to start to work on their first picture. It will be strictly a Pine Ridge production, as Lum is writing the story, and they plan to use all hometown talent. Squire Skimp has opened a theatrical agency and has signed a managerial contract with almost everyone in town, including Lum and Abner. The old fellows signed up with the Squire before they realized that they, as owners of the Pine Ridge Motion Picture Company, could set their own salaries without the assistance of a manager. As we look in on the little community today, we find Lum and Abner down at the Jot 'em Down store discussing the story for the picture. Listen.
Yeah, that's where Sister Simpson comes in.
Sister Simpson, is she going to be in the picture?
Yeah, I had to have her so we can use that living room over there, her boarding house.
Living room?
Well, setting room, same thing. See, the picture opens up with Hortense Brogan talking with her mama, trying to get her permission to marry me.
Uh-huh.
Supposed to be in a castle, so we got to have the room looking nice.
Yeah, sure.
Sister Simpson's got the nicest setting room furniture in town.
Yeah, it's brand new, too.
Well, that's the only way we could get to use it was to let her act in the picture.
Yeah, well, she might be all right. I don't know.
Well, anyway, she comes in, and Hortense asks her if she can marry me, and she says no on account of I ain't never made no big name for myself. So when I hear that, I clench my fist and say, before the sun is set a fortnight from now, the name of Count Frederick, that's my name in the picture.
Oh, I wonder who it was.
The White Knight will be known from coast from around the world. And Catherine starts crying, and I jump on my horse and ride off fast as I can.
What, you going to have a horse right there in the sitting room?
No. He'll be standing right outside the window, and I jump out the window on him.
Yeah, well, how does it come out? Do you make a name for yourself?
Oh, yeah.
Well, good.
Yeah, I make a hero out of myself and come back, and her mama and papa give their consent, and me and Hortense gets married and lives happy ever after.
Well, that ain't going to be a very long picture.
Oh, well, that's just a synopsis. There's a lot of other stuff goes in there, all about me saving the country and all that.
Oh, you saved the country, huh?
Yeah, that's how I make a name for myself. See, I found out there's an army coming to attack us, and I jump on my white steed and ride...
Jump on what?
Well, my horse.
Oh.
Ride through the night and warn everybody that the British are coming.
Well, that sounds sort of like Paul Revere.
Yeah, it does sort of, don't it?
Yeah, that's what he done.
Yeah, maybe I could ride and tell the British that... No, that wouldn't do. Nothing. See, wish he hadn't done that. That's my trouble. All the good ideas I get, somebody else has done used them. Like last night, I had it to where I was going to go ask Hortense to marry me, and I was going to ask her to marry somebody else, and she's going to say, why don't you speak for yourself, John? Count. But that's been dead, too.
Yeah, I've heard that before somewhere. Pocahontas or somebody done it.
I might ride around and tell everybody the Germans is coming. That ain't never been done.
No, not that I know of, no.
And I found out that Mose Moots is a traitor to his country, and I challenged him to a duel.
Mose Moots?
Yeah, already got him signed up.
Well, where do I come in at?
Why?
Well, what part am I going to have in it?
Well, now, right there is where we're going to have trouble, Abner. It sort of got me stumped.
Yes, huh?
You wouldn't want to be standing outside of that window there holding my horse when I jump on him, would you?
No, definitely no.
I've got to have somebody. I sort of figured you wouldn't like that, but I can't find no other place for you.
Well, how about me taking Moses' part? I can fight a duel as good as he can.
Well, the trouble with that is, see, I'm getting a lodge uniforms for Mose.
Yeah.
He's head of the lodge now, and that's a deal I made with him. We get to use all them robes and swords and fancy costumes for nothing.
Oh.
And then I got dibs on that with the white fur on the collar, too. That purple one.
Yeah, I've seen him wear it, yeah.
Ezra Seastrunk used to wear it.
Yeah.
See, that way, with all them robes and crowns down there, we can have kings and queens and princes and everything else.
Well, why don't you make me one of them kings then, Lum?
Well, there ain't but one. And Squire Skimp's going to be that one. Wished I'd have knowed you'd wanted it, though. I had to insist on him taking the part.
Well, I'll be dead blamed.
Of course, Squire can say big words they eat better than you can. Might make you a vice king or something like that. They don't ever say nothing.
They don't,
like vice president.
Uh-huh.
Oh, you'll be in there. Don't worry.
Well, good. As long as I'm putting money in this thing, well, I want to be sure to be in the picture.
Oh, yeah. You got to give these parts to whoever they fit, though.
You mean them lodge uniforms?
No, I mean, well, like I wanted to be the king myself, but I figured Squire was the best one for the part, so I'll give it to him. I was just thinking, though, I believe I got an idea where I can be a king, too. How would it be when Hortense's mama refuses to let us get married? What if we decided to elope and I ride up to the castle at high midnight and she can jump out the window on the horse instead of me? I never did like the idea of doing that jumping, no way.
Now, Swan Lum, you've changed that picture 40,000 times.
Well, I want this person to be right, Abner. If it's good enough, I might get that Academy's reward next year.
Get what?
The Academy's reward.
They offering a reward for you?
No, prize.
Oh.
Give one to the fellow that writes the best picture, and one to the best director, and one to the best actor. Granny, I might get all three of them, you know it. Special the way the story's sounding now. Well,
when are you going to start taking the pictures, Lum? That's what I want to know. All you did so far is just talk.
Why, tonight, over at Sister Simpson's. Cedric's gone into the county seat to get some spotlights right now to turn on the actors so they'll show up better, you know.
Yeah, well, I ain't in that part tonight, huh?
No, that's just me and Sister Simpson and Hortense and Squire and King.
Uh-huh.
That's all we need for tonight.
Well, did you ever get that business straightened out with Squire?
What business?
About us having to pay him 10% of what we made.
Oh, no. I talked to him about it, but he says a deal's a deal, and we've done signed the papers.
Yeah, but I thought you was going to talk him out of it.
And I did, too, but I couldn't. Not only that, I found out that 10% we have to pay him for being our manager is not only for moving pictures. According to him, we got to pay him 10% of all the money we make this year.
You mean what money we make out of the store here, too?
Everything.
Well, now, we don't need nobody to tell us how to manage a store, Lum.
No, that's what I say. There's where we made our mistake. We ought to read that contract over more careful before we signed it.
Oh, my goodness, Elizabeth will beat the daylights out of me if she hears about that.
Well, the thing for us to do is figure out some way to get out of it.
How?
I don't know. I ain't particular how we do it, though, I'll tell you that. You ought to told us all them things that's in that contract before we let her sign it.
Why, sure.
Just tricked us, that's what he done.
Well, in the first place, we never needed no manager or agents or whatever he called himself. We're paying the salaries ourselves. We don't need nobody to tell us how much we're going to pay ourselves.
Of course not. And the more we pay ourselves, the more we have to pay him.
Why, sure. Well, Doggett, I ain't going to work for less than we're paying somebody else, I'll tell you that right now.
Just did. We've got to get out of that contract some way or other.
Of course, it sounded good the way he flamed it here the other day.
That's our ring.
Yeah, I'll get it.
Yeah, if it's Squire, tell him to come over here. We want to see him.
Hello. Jot him down. Oh, hello, Elizabeth. Mom? Well, can I just wait till I come home for supper to bring it? Uh-huh. Oh, well, all right. I'll bring it over right away then. All right, Elizabeth. Yes, Mom, I will. Goodbye. I got to take a gallon of coal all over the place right away, Lum. Elizabeth turned over a whole bucket full there in the backyard and got to have it right away before the incubator gets cold.
Oh, yeah. Well, you better hurry back, for I want to get Squire over. Wait a minute. Did you say cool oil?
Yeah, that's what she said. Why?
Well, I was just thinking. Squire's always taking advantage of us any way he can. I believe this is our chance to get even with him, Abner.
You mean take that coal oil and set his house on fire?
Oh, of course not. But if he thought he was making a deal where he was getting the best of us, taking advantage of us, and found out afterwards that we'd put one over him, that wouldn't be nothing honest about it, would he?
Why, of course not.
Well, sir, I think I know a way where we can let him skin himself in a trade.
Well, good. Why?
Well, let's get Grandpappy Spears or somebody to call Squire and tell him that there's oil on that land of yours over there. See, that'll be the truth.
Yeah, but what good will that do?
Well, Squire will hot-foot it right over here to try to make a deal with you to lease your land, thinking he's taking advantage of you.
Yeah.
He won't tell you he thinks there's oil on your land, and you act at first like you don't want to lease it to him, but finally you can decide to give him a lease on the land if he'll tear up them contracts.
I believe it's a good idea. That ought to work.
But of course it'll work. I'll call him up myself and tell him I hear there's oil on your land.
Yeah, you do it. Sure,
yeah. Then I'll leave before he gets over
there.
there.
Yeah, that's the time. We'll fix him this time. Oh, man.
I'll get them contracts back if it's a hello? Squire? This is Lum and Abner. Oh, pretty good, I reckon. I just wanted to get some information from you, Squire. Is oil land worth anything now? Yeah. Well, I'd rather not say. I just found out where there's some land here in town that's got some oil on it.
Yeah, whole gallon.
Well, don't say nothing about it, but it's that land of Abner's over there.
Out by the chicken house.
Yeah, right there in his yard. Well, all right. That sounds fair to me. Well, I don't know a whole lot about the oil business. Why, he's over at the store right now. All right, Squire. All right, it's a deal. You get the lease on the land, and I get a half interest in it. All right, much obliged. Yeah, better see him right away before the news gets spread around. All right, Squire. Goodbye. Said he'd be right over.
He did, huh?
Yes, sir. I'll get on out of here. Granny, it's just like that old lettered saying of mine. Give a feller enough rope and he'll hang himself.
Well, it looks as though the old fellows may beat Squire at his own game. At this time of year, everyone needs a hot drink with his meals, especially growing children. But this is always a problem, for every mother knows that growing children should never drink coffee because of the effect coffee has on their sleep, their nerves, and their digestion. And many other hot drinks are so sweet and cloying that they may take away a child's appetite for the solid foods he should have. Well, that's where Postum, made with milk, exactly fills the bill. Postum is a delicious cereal beverage made of whole wheat and bran, skillfully roasted and slightly sweetened. It contains no caffeine, no stimulant of any kind. It will not spoil a child's appetite, yet it gives him a warm, steaming mealtime drink with a delightfully tempting flavor that all children love. And they like its rich, mellow color, brown and grown-up looking. So get Postum tomorrow. Let the children have a cup of steaming, hot Postum made with milk anytime they want it. It's one of the most nourishing drinks a child can have, and they all love it. Postum presents Lum and Abner again on Wednesday evening, same time, same station. Good night. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.